Score to go to Wembley, boys. Score to go to Wembley. Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. I'm delighted to say I've got Max Stokes on today of Villa on Tour. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. You'll help us grow and it'll be really appreciated. So, Max, how are you?
I'm really good, mate. It's really good to be on the channel and talk about Villa, and it's just happy time, isn't it? We don't, especially in the last few years, we haven't been able to come on podcasts and have chats and things about Villa doing so well. So, mate, pleasure to be on and happy to be talking about Villa.
Thank you very much. So I just said to you off air that the last time we actually spoke, this podcast had only just started. Villa had got 27 points after 32 games. And I remember asking you about the chances of survival, and you thought we were going down, to be fair. And I think a lot of us did. So what a stark contrast. Us two talking now, we're sixth in the Premier League. Who'd have thought that? So what have you made of the start?
It's crazy, isn't it? I think it was about the sort of time where it was us, Watford, Norwich were in there, West Ham, all these sort of teams fighting for their lives. And we were 7 points off safety. I think Watford have just beaten West Ham or something.
Yeah.
And we were 7 points off safety. And it was really depressing. And I think a lot of us, including me, had just thought, right, that's it. We've had our season in the Premier League. We'll go again in the Championship next year. And, I'd lost interest a little bit. But the last 4 games, we got a decent amount of points, a few wins in there as well. And we scraped ourselves into safety. And this season, I think, we all thought there'd be a little bit of progression. We'd want to do better than 17th, obviously, make a few big signings like we did. But I just think the start that we've had, and I think it's important not to get carried away. Look, we're only 7 or 8, whatever it is, games into the season. So it's important not to get carried away. But so far, it's been absolutely mad. The first 4 games, picking up wins in there, the 7-2, the 3-0 against Arsenal as well recently. It's just ridiculous. And, I've never seen a Villa, for me anyway, like I've never seen a Villa side that I like as much as this. And again, I'm going to say, not getting carried away or anything, but I've seen a lot of rubbish in my time. But yeah, it's just crazy, mate. And it's really, really exciting to see where this side could go, because I think we'll probably talk about it at some point where we think Villa will finish. But it's really, really positive signs at the moment, mate. Really, really enjoying watching Villa.
I think so. And I think it's like you were saying, with football and with Villa, it's very much an age thing with the fans, isn't it? You've got a certain aspect of fans that have seen us play really well. They've seen unbelievable players. And then, even my age, I'm 31, I haven't really seen us be that good. Even like in 96, 94, I was too young to remember us in League Cup finals and remember players like Paul McGrath. So even my journey has been quite tough at times. I think the Benteke era, that's when I first thought we got an amazing striker. And then obviously we got relegated and it was really difficult. But I said on an episode that I'm doing coming in the week as well, that I feel like we've got Villa back again. And it's like a new Villa, because we got relegated and we had to rebuild completely. This feels like a special time at the moment, and I think it's just really exciting, especially for fans like yourself that that haven't seen us that good forever, really. So it's just really good. So what have you made of us then watching the games? What have you been impressed with?
Everything, basically. I think it's pretty much. I mean, yes, we had the blip of Leeds and Southampton, but I think they were blips. And I think this season is going to be a season where you're going to get freak results most weekends. Obviously, with there being no fans, it's just ridiculous. And like I said, every weekend there is a freak result. The weekend we beat Liverpool 7-2. Tottenham beat Man United at Old Trafford 6-1. Like, it is going to be mental. And I think, that could play into Villa's hands. Like, we could capitalise on the likes of Man City struggling in the early starts of the season and things like that. Just have fun with it. But yeah, like you said, it is a really, really likeable side, and just the football we're playing when we're on song going forward, we're one of the best attacking sides in this league, and you can already see. I know we're early in the season, but you can already see the relationships of Barkley and Grealish and Target down that side, for example, working well. Matty Cash and Trezeguet on the right. You can see these relationships coming together, and we are a young side. I think the average age is 24 or something. So there's so much potential for this side, and like you said, it's a really, really exciting time. It's just great to watch as well. Like I said, the attacking football, it's so fluid and smooth. And in the past, we've been treated to some horrendous football. The Bruce era, when that got depressing towards the end of his time, watching that, throwing Hepburn Murphy, Chris Samba up front, just dreadful football. And to see how good we're playing at the moment against sides like Liverpool, Leicester and Arsenal, and just beating those sides, it's crazy. And, hopefully we can just keep this consistency up and keep this level up for the whole of the season, because if we can, we're on to something really, really good.
Oh, definitely. And I think I remember us last time when we were chatting, we both really love Dean Smith. Like, we are very big admirers of Dean Smith. And I think the job that man's done is nothing short of incredible, I don't think. With the coaching setup, bringing in Shakespeare, mixing it up a little bit. And I think just shows that having that bit of patience and that sort of just sticking with the manager just shows what it can do if you stick by the manager. So, I think he needs a lot of plaudits as well to, what he's creating and the philosophy that he's building, really. So, talking about the transfers, then we all know we had a really good window, but who for you is the standout Villa player that we signed?
I think there's a couple. I think maybe a few of them go under the radar, but I think you've got to start at the back with Emi Martinez. I think when we were first linked with him, I was sort of thinking, why would Arsenal let him go? He came in for them at the start of the lockdown period, I think it was, because Bernd Leno got an injury at Brighton away, I think. And he was fantastic for them. He won the FA Cup, won the Community Shield, like days before he came to Villa. And he looked, obviously he'd been there for 10 years, and I just never thought that's not going to happen. Why would Arsenal let him go? There was rumours of 20, 25 million. I thought Villa wouldn't do that on a goalkeeper, and we've got Tom Heaton coming back at some point. But I think getting him over the line, and that signing is a statement of intent, and he has been one of the best goalkeepers in this league for me so far this season. I think when you're a defender and you've got someone like Emi Martinez behind you, it's only going to instill confidence, and I think he's been an incredible signing. Outfield, I think you got to look at Ross Barkley, just that quality. I think that signing came out of nowhere, didn't it? I got the notification, Villa tweeted, it's just mad out of nowhere. Like, with these summer rumours and social media and stuff, you always get these links and the whole John Percy leaking things and stuff like that. But that one was one that genuinely came out of nowhere, and that's quite rare these days. So for me, I think you've got to look at Ross Barkley, Emi Martinez. Matty Cash has been incredible. For someone who's never played in the Premier League before, and he's been a Championship player, he has been fantastic. So probably those three for me. Obviously, you've got to look at Ollie Watkins. I'm literally just listing all of them here, but Ollie Watkins as well. Fantastic start to the season. Even when he had a difficult half against Arsenal, he came out second half, scored a brace. So he's a pure goal scorer, and we've got some very, very good players there on our hands.
Definitely. I think, even touching on Watkins now, 6 goals already, that if he carries on that ratio of scoring, he's going to have nearly 20, surely.
Yeah, I think you've got to aim for 20, haven't you? And I think for someone, again, like Cash, who's only played in the Championship, if you're on course for 20, you're doing something right. And scoring a hat-trick against Liverpool, brace against Arsenal, these are big sides.
Yeah.
So, fantastic player. He's versatile, he's quick, his hold-up play is good. Great player, really, really good.
Brilliant player. So I'm going to pick your brains a little bit now and ask you a few questions about yourself. So what would you say is the best ground you've ever been to? And then the next question is going to be, what's the best away day you've been to? So 2 slightly different questions.
I love a traditional ground. I'm not a fan of these bowl stadiums like Leicester, Southampton. They're all the same, just different coloured seats. So I think I love Old Trafford. I think outside it's just an incredible ground. And I remember I went with Villa for the first. I've been there before. Like, I remember for the Olympics or something in 2012, I went there. But with Villa, I think the 2-2 game in December was the first time I went there. and just being in that away end, and it's just massive. It is mental.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the atmosphere is dreadful, and the 3,000 pocket Villa
Yeah.
fans are making all the noise. But in terms of just the stadium, it is just incredible. I think Tottenham as well is mad. That was the first away game back in the Premier League, and just seeing that, and it just put into perspective, like, we are back in the Premier League now. That was mad. In terms of an away day, Sheffield Wednesday in the 10-game run, it was just incredible. I think in that run we were treated to a lot of good away days. Birmingham City away with the whole Grealish thing, but I'm not sure I enjoyed that too much until the final whistle went. You can never enjoy Derby Day, but the Blues away game, Rotherham away, Sheffield Wednesday away, I think is top though for me. I think that was the first like proper last-minute winner I experienced, and then we scored again just to take the mick, and it was just absolutely incredible. I think there was like 4,000 Villa fans there that day. We had the whole stand at Hillsborough.
Yeah.
That was top quality. That was so good.
So my next question, I mean, this could be to do with Villa. So what's the one international ground, like European football, world football, you'd like to go to? I mean, Europa might be on the cards next season, so you might be going to it. But what would you say is a ground that you look at and you're like, I'd love to go there?
There's a couple. I think you talk about the Europa League there. If we're getting into the Europa League, we'll go to these tiny little stadiums in Azerbaijan and Andorra and stuff that have like running tracks around the outside. So get me there as a start. But if you're talking about the big ones, I went to Spain versus Romania last year in the Wanda Metropolitano, I think it's called, Atletico Madrid's new stadium. That is mental. So I've been there. I think the Camp Nou, Barcelona's ground, that's definitely on the bucket list. I had a stadium tour of the Bernabeu as well. But yeah, I think the Camp Nou is up there just because it's so iconic. Hopefully to see Messi as well before he retires, that's definitely on the bucket list. But yeah, there's a few top quality, European grounds that I want to go to. A few in Germany as well, Dortmund Stadium. But yeah, there's a few there that I definitely want to visit.
How much are you missing it now?
Oh mate, I think it's kind of sad because I'm quite used to it now. I'm quite used to not going to football matches. I've been to a few like non-league, like local games, which is obviously it's good, but it's not the same, is it? But just I think I've been outside Villa Park a couple of times in lockdown and stuff just to see it. But it is sad because I've kind of got used to it watching it on telly, it is sad because I went to all of the games in the Premier League, and it is weird, and hopefully we'll be back soon. There's talk about it being in March, but I don't see it being this season, especially getting all the fans in as well. I think it's never, ever going to be the same until you get a full stadium, especially at Villa Park as well, where when we're all allowed back, the atmosphere will be something else. I think it will be the best ever, no matter who it's against. So massively missing it, even just going to, the pub with your mates and just having a chat and a drink and stuff like that. I think that's definitely the main thing that you miss, especially with Villa being good at the moment. I think if you mix that with Villa being good and we can actually beat the stadiums with these results, that'll be so good. But yeah, mate, missing it massively at the moment.
It's been incredible to be in some of them stadiums now, isn't it? So I've got a question for you here. So how far do you feel like Villa could go this season?
Tough one. Again, I'm going to say it again. Don't want to get carried away because this will get clipped up when we finish 16th at the end of the season. But at the start of the season, look, we came 17th last year, and it's all about progression. And if you would have said to me at the start 14th, 15th, probably would have taken that. But based on the start that we've had, you've probably got to look higher than that. I think top 10 would be incredible. 100%. That's what we should be going for. But if you said 12th, I'd probably take that. But it just depends on consistency. If we can keep this up and dominate sides like we have, I don't see why top 6, top 7 is a possibility. You look at Wolves when they came up, they got 7th and then 7th again the following season. I don't think we're too far away from that if we keep up this level. So European football might be a little bit too much at the moment, but who knows, mate? 8th, 9th, 10th would be fantastic. Maybe a little cup run in the FA Cup. Obviously, you're already out of the League Cup, but I think, the ceiling's high for Villa at the moment. And then next season, if we have a good season this year, who knows? But definitely positive signs. Yeah,
I'm with you on all that, really. I mean, even if you look at our next, I think it's our next 8 games, bear in mind who we have played. We've played Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal. We've played some tough games. This run of fixtures coming up now doesn't look too tricky on paper. So I'm with you. I feel like in Jan, if we assess that and we're near top 10, 8th, 9th, then I feel like we can just go for it, really. So where do you feel like, what bracket are you going to put Grealish in at the minute now? How good is he?
Best player outside the top 6. 100%. I think I'm genuinely running out of things to say about him using different words because he's just a magician. He is special. He's so good to watch. He's the best player that I've seen watching Villa. Admittedly, there isn't much to compare it to because I think I've watched Villa for like the last 10 years. I think the end of the O'Neill era was when I started watching Villa. So I haven't been treated to that many special players. I think the only player that sort of comes close is probably Benteke. He was like the first, properly quality player that I saw, and I think Grealish is a level above that. The fact that he's a Villa fan and he's captain as well, and he's been there through the hard times as well, the relegation, the struggles in the Championship, and he always has another gear. I remember, for example, the Rotherham away game in the Championship where we came from behind to win. I thought that was the best of Grealish, but getting promoted, doing it in the Premier League, he always has another gear, and this year is no different. That run against Arsenal for the Watkins second, I think it was, it is ridiculous. And I think in years gone by, he was quite a slim player and he was pushed off the ball a little bit, still skillful, but especially in the last few years, he's bulked up. And look at Hector Bellerin, he just got absolutely shoved out the way like he was nothing for that Watkins goal. And he's got everything. And hopefully his England career can take off properly and he can solidify a place in there. But generally, mate, he's special and he's definitely the best player I've ever seen at Villa anyway.
I totally agree with you. And one thing about that goal is as well, Grealish seems quicker with the ball than without it. Bellerin's fast, and he couldn't get nowhere near him.
That's what Southgate said. He doesn't play him in the England squad because he's got a lack of pace. Like, just watch that. If you're able to run that fast anyway, that's great. But with a ball and to keep composure and even have the end product to play a perfect ball to Watkins, he's got everything, mate. He's special. He's
just too good. So just to finish up on, how's your new job going?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really enjoying it. I went in basically in a normal week, I'll go in maybe 2 or 3 times to the office, but now working from home completely. But if people don't know, basically it's a videography sort of apprenticeship at Severn Trent. So that's going. It's going really well, mate. Really enjoying it. Most people know I had to stop the Villa on tour thing. Well, not had to stop. It's on pause basically because I couldn't quite juggle that with the job as well. But if football comes back and we're allowed back in stadiums, it might come back. But yeah, the job's going really well, mate, and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you.
How do you feel about us actually being quite good though, and you not got that camera
out? You just knew it was going to happen as soon as it would stop and things like that. We just turned fantastic, and it is a little bit annoying because I think you said earlier, imagine being in these stadiums like 7-2 at Villa Park on a Sunday night, and then the Emirates as well, where 2 of the goals were down the end where the away end would have been. It genuinely would have been incredible, but oh well, we don't mind as long as Villa are doing well. We don't mind.
I think with the Liverpool on the 7-2, I don't think any fan would have left that stadium till about midnight. I think everyone would have just stayed in there.
Yeah, I normally get the train to Villa Park. I think the last train would have gone about 2 hours before I left that stadium. I'd have to get a taxi or something. But yeah, honestly, mate, that would have been incredible.
That's one for me that I wish I was in there for that because it's just like such an iconic moment, isn't it? We're still, even though we watched on TV, you'll talk about that now for about the next 20 years.
Yeah, 100%. And it's because it was the champions of Europe, the world, the Premier League. It's just one of them that you never ever see. And it is like a once in a generation thing. And the fact that we weren't there it's just so sad. But who cares? We beat Liverpool 7-2. It's just crazy.
Absolutely mad. So anyway, Max, thanks for coming on tonight. It's been great chatting to you.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Thanks for having me on. Really enjoyed it.
Cheers, mate. Up the